the headliners, the newsmakers, the political scene, and government issues. These should be our concern, and we're taking you at the forefront. Good morning. I am Attorney Karen Jimeno. Join me at the forefront as we discuss the details of national issues that our country faces. Just in is the latest update on Alice Guo. Former Banban Tarlac Mayor Alice Guo is already arrested and currently under the custody of Indonesian authorities, according to Director Jimmy Santiago of the NBI. Stay tuned for more updates on this developing story with our BNC News team. On to our main news this Wednesday morning. Initial reports said that it's unlikely to make landfall and that it will exit the Philippine area of responsibility quickly. Then it shifted direction from a low-pressure area to a severely damaging typhoon. Typhoon Enteng is now traversing northern Luzon provinces, bringing heavy rains, strong winds, and widespread devastation. Is this a case of miscalculation? Joining us this morning is PAGASA weather specialist Aldczar Aurelio. Good morning, Aldczar.
Hello and good morning po sa ating lahat.
Aldczar, can you give us updates on the status of Typhoon Enteng?
Severe Tropical Storm Enteng, as of 2 o'clock in the morning, is already outside of Philippine area of responsibility. So there is no tropical cyclone signal over the country. But we expect rainy days today because of southwest monsoon. Southwest monsoon affecting most part of Luzon. So we expect today and also tomorrow a rainy day over most part of Luzon, including Metro Manila. Right now, we issued orange warning over Bataan, while yellow heavy rainfall warning over Metro Manila, Zambales, Pampanga, and Bulacan. This heavy rainfall warning means we expect heavy to intense rains for the next 1 to 3 hours. And meanwhile, Visayas and Mindanao have generally fair weather, which means partly cloudy to cloudy skies. But expect isolated rain showers due to a thunderstorm in the afternoon or in the evening. As of this moment, you can see the latest image from Himawari. There is a cloud cluster over the Philippine Sea east of the Luzon. This cloud cluster has potential to develop into a low pressure area maybe this week or next week. Back to you.
Aldczar, so when can we expect the weather to clear in Metro Manila?
Here in Metro Manila, we expect generally good weather or fair weather or clear sky over the weekend, Saturday or Sunday, starting Saturday or Sunday.
Aldczar, did I hear you correctly that there's another low pressure area developing that might come by next week?
Today, there's no low pressure area, but I said a while ago, a cloud cluster over the Philippine Sea east of Luzon. This cloud cluster has a potential to develop into a low pressure area. Maybe next week, this cloud cluster may become a low pressure area.
Okay, so it's just a potential. And if it does develop into a low pressure area, how soon can we get an advance warning of this LPA if that happens?
Today, we already informed or relayed the information to all of us that there's a potential low pressure area next week pertaining this cloud cluster east of Luzon over the Philippine Sea. So we from PAGASA regularly update our weather forecast every 6 hours. or maybe 3 hours or 6 hours from issue a public weather forecast and also weather advisory if necessary.
And in terms of intensity, is Typhoon Enteng worse than Typhoon Karina?
Karina became a typhoon instead of far, but Enteng severe tropical storm before exit far. So regarding the intensity of wind strength, Karina is more stronger than Enteng. Pertaining the devastation brought about this two weather system, as of now, hindi ko masabi. I need the data from all sources, the areas affected solely from tropical cyclone.
Okay. Aldczar, according to the initial weather reports, they said that Typhoon Enteng would unlikely make landfall and that it would be out of the Philippine area of responsibility. But today, this is the third day that we're experiencing heavy rains. Can you tell us what happened relative to the direction of the storm?
3 days ago, 2 days ago, we always said that this tropical cyclone, if it maintains that the track, it may landfall over the east of Luzon, first in Cagayan Isabela area. But we also said that we will not rule out that this Enteng made landfall over Aurora, and that's what happened. Enteng has made landfall over Casiguran, Aurora.
Okay. Was the national government aware of the shift in the direction of the typhoon?
Yes, we regularly update the tropical cyclone bulletin every 6 hours and every 3 hours, and we always said that if this typhoon or tropical storm at that time maintains its direction and speed, it will make landfall, or it is likely to landfall over Cagayan or Isabela area. Or there's another scenario that Enteng may change its direction, particularly westward. We will not rule out this Enteng will make landfall over Aurora.
Okay. Aldczar, for those who still have no classes today, based on the direction of Typhoon Enteng, what is your expectation? Will classes be able to resume by tomorrow?
For the part of PAGASA, we will recommend we provide the information and data what areas will be going to experience rainy and areas that will have improving weather. For the suspension, for the declaring gas suspension, that's a sole responsibility from other agencies such as local government and DepEd or CHED.
But as a weather specialist, would you say that it's safe to start going out today and tomorrow?
Well, for today is rainy day, and we expect at times heavy rains especially over northern central Luzon, such as Ilocos region, Cordillera, Batanes, Zambales, including Metro Manila. We continue to experience rainy day today, and we expect here in Metro Manila moderate to at times heavy rains.
Okay. How is the condition in the northern provinces right now?
Well, they're experiencing not so good, gloomy weather, experiencing moderate to at times heavy rains over northern Luzon, including also central Luzon, are experiencing rainy rainy day to day, such as moderate to at times heavy rains.
Aldczar, recently Albay 2nd District Representative Joey Salceda criticized PAGASA and mentioned that PAGASA was sleeping in the job. What is the reaction of PAGASA to this criticism?
Well, on our part, hindi kami natutulog and regular po kami nagbibigay ng update every 6 hours for the public weather forecast. Also, we issue a weather advisory. So, from the part of PAGASA, hindi kami natutulog, hindi kami nagpabaya sa aming trabaho.
Congressman Salceda also mentioned a par plus 5 rule. Can you give us an idea what this means?
Okay. Ibig sabihin ng par plus 5 rule, ang kung titingnan po natin is kung pag-usapan yung longitude, ang par line po natin from the Mindanao to the east is hanggang 135 degrees east. So ang layo po niya from Mindanao to the east is about 1,500 kilometers. And a long time ago, we issued advisory. We informed our public that there's a low pressure area when this weather disturbance, such as low pressure area, tropical cyclone, is inside the PAR. Right now, we extend the domain. The PAR plus 5 degrees east. So we extend the domain area that we can monitor the weather system inside the domain. So we expand our area. That's the PAR plus 5 means.
Okay, so it sounds like it's a more conservative rule wherein if it's within that area of plus 5, then we should be getting notices about any potential weather disturbances. Okay.
That's correct. We expand the domain or region so that the weather system far away from the country, we automatically inform to the public that there's a low pressure area, chances to enter the PAR, or there's a tropical cyclone outside the PAR but inside the domain, the wider domain. So we automatically inform to us, to all of you, that there's a weather disturbance such as LPA, low pressure area, or tropical cyclone may have potential or may enter the PAR for the next 3 days or for the next 5 days. Okay. Not only the low pressure area or tropical cyclone, we also include cloud cluster that may chances to develop into LPA.
Okay. Aldczar, for those who are in the northern Luzon provinces, you said that the direction of Typhoon Enteng is toward northern Luzon. What can they expect? Are the rains, the volume of the rains, going to be heavier than what Metro Manila experienced?
Pertaining to intensity of rains, northern Luzon has before landfall or before at the time that Enteng approaching the landmass, especially northern central Luzon, we already informed or have provided information that areas in northern central Luzon will experience heavy rains that make chance of floodings and landslide. Also, we raise a tropical cyclone wind signal over the some parts or most part of northern Luzon and central Luzon.
Okay. Aldczar, can you give us tips on how we should get updates on the weather conditions? For a lot of people, we don't really know the difference between an LPA, a tropical cyclone, and a tropical storm. But just for us to prepare and have a sense of what we should be doing, do you have any tips where we can get information and how we can understand this information?
Okay, we get updates from us from PAGASA official website. Our website is bagong.pagasa.dosd.gov.ph. We also have a Twitter and Facebook account. Search Facebook account. Our Facebook account is DSD_Pag-asa. And same DSD_Pag-asa. Also, that's the Twitter account. And the next question you asked is how we differentiate from LPA to tropical cyclone. Well, we explained it during a live weather report. So what is the difference between low pressure area and tropical cyclone? Regarding the wind strength, tropical cyclone has a strong strong winds than a low pressure area. And regarding the rainfall, well, there's no difference between the low pressure area and tropical cyclone pertaining to the rainfall. Significant difference between them is the wind strength. Again, the tropical cyclone has a strong winds, as a characteristic of a strong winds. Meanwhile, the low pressure area has a light winds.
Okay. Aldczar, I'm seeing the website of PAGASA, and there are some colors, right? So when you see red, which appears to be what Typhoon Enteng looks like right now over the Philippines, that means the intensity is very high. Can you let us know, like, what colors would show that there's less intensity, or is there any helpful tip on the color coding?
Okay, the satellite image that you can see on our website, we call that infrared channel. Infrared, the colors scheme, it means the intense colors such as red, orange, purple, in related to rainfall, it means moderate to heavy rains, and sometimes torrential rains. If the color is cool, such as blue, green, that means light rains.
Okay. And officially, when will Typhoon Enteng leave the Philippine area of responsibility?
A while ago, 2 a.m. 2 o'clock in the morning, Enteng exit the Philippine area of responsibility. As of this moment, Enteng is already outside the park and moving away from the country toward China, southern part of China.
Okay, and we're still expecting heavy rains today. So does that mean we're expecting rains, as you said, up until afternoon, but this is more the tail of Typhoon Enteng?
This rains that we are experiencing due to southwest monsoon.
Okay, So at least, I guess as a non-scientist, I'm still a bit confused. I don't know what the southwest monsoon is compared to a tropical storm. But again, like you said, we should still expect heavy rains up until this afternoon here in Metro Manila and then the northern provinces. When can we expect the weather to clear in the whole Philippines?
For the whole Philippines, expect by Sunday, whole country will experience generally good weather.
Okay. Thank you so much, Aldczar Aurelio, for giving us the update on the weather disturbances caused by Typhoon Enteng. At the forefront, we'll be right back with someone from DSWD. Welcome back at the forefront. The Department of Social Welfare and Development has been busy with its relief operations for those affected by Typhoon Enteng. Joining us this morning is DSWD Assistant Secretary for Disaster Response Management Group, spokesperson Irene Dumlao. Good morning, ASEC Irene.
Yes, good morning, Attorney, and good morning to all your televiewers and followers.
Irene, DSWD Secretary Rex Gatchalian was in Antipolo yesterday to assess the situation in the city. What was DSWD's assessment?
That's correct, Attorney. DSWD Secretary Rex Gatchalian was indeed in the Rizal province yesterday. He supervised the distribution of family food packs in areas like in Antipolo. He has also spoken with the local government officials, and he has assured DSWD's support, especially in terms of the provision of family food packs, non-food items, and additional interventions. Together with the local government units, they were able to assess the continuous need for family food packs and the provision of additional assistance. So, as I've mentioned, the DSWD Secretary has guaranteed the continuous support of the DSWD to the LG.
Irene, was Antipolo the most severely hit by Typhoon Enteng?
Based on the DSWD's latest monitoring, majority of the affected populations are found in Calabarzon. That includes the province of Rizal. In addition, we also have monitored significant number of affected populations in Cavite and Laguna.
Earlier, we had a representative from PAGASA here at the forefront, and he said that the national government was aware of the shift in the direction of Typhoon Enteng. For the DSWD, in terms of preparations, was DSWD also aware of the shift in direction, meaning that it would enter the Philippine area of responsibility and affect Luzon? Was DSWD able to make sufficient preparations?
That's correct, Attorney. DSWD was in close coordination with other government agencies such as the DOST, PAGASA, and other member agencies of the of the response cluster of the NTRIPC. In fact, in our coordination meetings with our field offices, we have involved the DOST, PAGASA. And in that manner, we were able to determine which areas will be affected by Typhoon Enteng, and we were able to check the available food packs preposition in the strategic locations in those possible to be affected regions. So the DSWD was able to really prepare our food packs and non-food items. Because if you could recall, DSWD has launched its Buong Bansa Handa project, wherein we strengthen our supply chain management, wherein we have two supply chains. First supply chain is government-driven. We have intensified our production of food packs and prepositioned this in various areas, including our hub spokes and last miles. We've entered into relief preposition agreements with local government units so that we could use their warehouses, so that anytime that the local government units would require additional support, the SWD will be able to provide this. Second is the supply chain too, wherein we have entered into framework agreements with private distributors. And anytime that we needed or required additional family food packs, we were able to draw down from these existing framework agreements.
Okay. And right now, this is the third day of heavy rains. PAGASA said that we will still be experiencing heavy rains until this afternoon. Has the heavy rains affected the ongoing relief operations of the DSWD in Antipolo and other affected areas?
Well, Attorney, as I've earlier mentioned, we have prepositioned goods in strategic locations across the country. So we were able to access immediately the food packs that we have prepositioned in the disaster-affected areas. Currently, we've not received any reports of challenges that we have that our field officers have encountered in terms of distributing our food packs.
Irene, do you have data on how many families were affected by Typhoon Enteng?
Yes, according to our 6 a.m. data, a total more than 450,000 families or more than 1.7 billion individuals have been affected by Typhoon Enteng. And based on this report as well, we were able to monitor more than 18,000 families or more than 73,000 persons who are now taking temporary shelter in evacuation centers.
By affected, does this mean that they have to go to evacuation centers or they're flooded? What is the description for affected families?
Yeah, for the affected families, these are not necessarily those who are taking temporary shelter in evacuation centers or those who are taking temporary shelter in the houses of their relatives or friends, but it includes the number of families and individuals who are residing in areas that have been affected by the typhoon. This includes the families whose areas have been flooded or areas that have been the activities in those areas have been hampered as a result of the typhoon.
What about casualties? Have there been any recorded casualties due to Typhoon Enteng?
Well, yes, in coordination with the Office of the Civil Defense, we were able to determine that there were casualties by Typhoon Enteng. But I understand that validation reports are still coming in. So perhaps it's the Office of the Civil Defense that could provide that information on the number of fatalities.
For those families that had to be evacuated, are schools, public schools, still being used right now as evacuation centers?
Well, according to our coordination meeting with the Department of Education, yes, there are schools that are being used as evacuation centers.
Okay. What about the immediate provisions being given by DSWD to affected families? Are there sufficient supplies?
That's correct. In fact, as of our 6 a.m. report, the central office and all its field offices have a total standby funds of more than 70 million pesos, and the cost of our stockpile is at around 2.6 billion pesos. So in terms of measuring the sufficiency of our relief items and our response operations, we can sustain the continued provision of assistance to this LGU affected.
Okay. And Irene, when you say that the DSWD can sustain the provision of supplies, this is not only for Metro Manila, but this covers the entire northern Luzon that would be affected by Typhoon Enteng.
That's correct. It also includes portions, the availability of response items in Visayas and Mindanao. In Visayas, particularly Region 6, 7, and 8.
Irene, for those that are affected even after the typhoon, for example, if they've sustained severe damage to their homes or have lost their savings, what other remedies or types of assistance can they expect from the DSWD? There's assistance to individuals in crisis situations or AICs. Is this something that Filipinos can look to for assistance?
That's correct, Attorney. Assistance to individuals in crisis situation is the additional intervention being provided by the DSWD, together, of course, with the family food packs and non-food items. Under the AICS, we could provide medical assistance for those who have been hurt. In addition to that, we could also provide burial assistance to families whose member might have perished as a result of the damages caused by Typhoon Enteng. And considering that we are still in the response phase, DSWD continues to provide food and non-food items. But as we move towards the early recovery phase or the recovery phase, DSWD may implement additional interventions, but that would depend on the result of the rapid damage assessment and needs analysis that will be conducted by the DSWD together with the local government units. So first, if there are trigger mechanisms like a declaration of state of calamity, and if the markets have already opened in a particular area, one of the interventions that we could provide is the emergency cash transfer, where we will be providing unconditional cash transfers to disaster-affected families. But then again, that would depend on the result of the ARDENA and the availability of funds, of course.
Irene, can you briefly describe what the procedure is if you're a person or an individual that wants to seek assistance through this AICS or assistance to individuals in crisis situations?
Okay. Of course, there are certain requirements that must be fulfilled. Submission, of course, of like if it's for burial assistance, submission of the death certificate is necessary, and a certification from our social worker that you have been assessed, you have been interviewed, and eligible for the assistance would also be part of the requirement. So the social worker of the department will interview the members of the household so that they could avail of the additional assistance.
Okay.
So
And
what they need to do is to, what they need to do is to get in touch with our social workers in our satellite offices or in our DSWD field office.
Okay. And Irene, for those who are immediately affected right now of Typhoon Enteng, where should they go to if they need food supplies or any of the assistance that's being provided by the DSWD?
Okay, of course, we highly encourage disaster-affected families and individuals to get in touch with their local officials, with their barangay local officials in particular, so that they will be included in the list of beneficiaries or recipients of any assistance that will be coming in from the department. We recognize, of course, that it's the local government units that provide immediate assistance to their constituents, and then the DSWD comes in to augment the resources of the local government units. So again, it's very important that we coordinate with our local officials. In case that you cannot get in touch with your local officials, you may get in touch with the Department of Social Welfare and Development through our official communication platforms. You may send us a message at our Facebook page, that's at DSWD Serves. You may also access our website, www.dswd.gov.ph, or you may send a message or call our hotline numbers 0917-110-5686, 0917-827-2543, and 0919-911-6200. Our angels in red vest would be very glad to assist you.
Okay, thank you for that, Irene. At least there's so many channels, different channels to reach the DSWD. Has there been a directive directly from President Bongbong Marcos related to DSWD activities for those that have been affected by Typhoon Enteng?
That's correct. In fact, even prior to the onslaught of Typhoon Enteng, we've already received instructions from the Malacanang to ensure preparedness of the government and mobilize all our resources to assist the families and individuals who will be affected by the typhoon. So that is actually what the department is doing. We are mobilizing all our resources and ensuring that all affected will be served.
Aside from the DSWD, what other government agencies are currently attending to the concerns of families that are affected by Typhoon Enteng?
Come again, attorney. Sorry, I did get that correctly.
No problem, Irene. So aside from the DSWD, would you know what other government agencies are currently attending to the concerns of families affected by Typhoon Enteng?
Okay. Yes, the DSWD, as the vice chairperson of the response cluster of the Interim C, is very much aware of the efforts also of other government agencies, particularly of the member agencies of the response cluster, such as the DILG, the DepEd, the DSUD, the DOH, and the OCD, and of course other organizations and offices. And as I've earlier mentioned, we are in close coordination with this office to ensure that our efforts are aligned and that our response actions are directed to all those disaster affected.
Aside from providing the relief operations currently for those affected by Typhoon Enteng, what other activities are currently being undertaken by the DSWD?
Okay, aside from the provision of food and non-food items, the DSWD is also the lead in camp coordination and camp management and in the protection of the internally displaced persons. With this, the DSWD provides technical assistance to our counterparts at the local level, wherein we ensure that the evacuation centers of the local government units follow the standards of the camp coordination, follow the guidelines as set in the camp coordination and camp management manual. We have to ensure that the water and safety and the hygiene facilities are present in the evacuation centers. Likewise, there should be activities being conducted for the children, and that there are also spaces for children and women, and make the environment safe for all of them, and that their rights and welfare or interests are promoted and protected.
Okay, so you also are busy making sure that the people affected by Typhoon Enteng are also secured and are safe.
That's correct. In coordination also with the local government units and with our partners from the medical field, we are monitoring the internally displaced persons in evacuation centers so that any diseases or any illnesses may be prevented. And in case there are, we will be able to provide the necessary interventions. Likewise, we are ensuring that even if the school of the activities of the children or their classes have been hampered, continuous educational interventions or activities are still being conducted inside evacuation centers. And likewise, if there are individuals who are experiencing trauma, psychosocial interventions are also being extended.
Thank you so much, Assistant Secretary Irene Dumlao. We appreciate your time despite how busy the DSWD is during this time.
Thank you very much also for giving DSWD this platform to provide information on what the department is currently doing. Thank you very much and good morning.
Up next, we have someone from the Antipolo CDRRMO. At the forefront, we'll be right back. Forefront. We have with us now from Antipolo City Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office, Mr. Bonifacio Bernardo. Good morning, Relly.
Good morning po, Attorney Karen, at sa inyo pong mga tagapanood.
Relly, can you tell us the extent of the damage of Typhoon Enteng in your area?
Well, ma'am, in terms of the rain, no? We were able to receive a huge amount of rainfall based on the PAGASA monitoring stations here in Antipolo. In 2 of the 3 monitoring stations, we were able to record more than 200 millimeters of rain. This is close to half of that of Carina and Ondoy. So you can just imagine po yung pong volume niya, no? And these were distributed or were concentrated not just in the lower Antipolo, the usual side, Munting Dilao and Mayamot barangays, which are adjacent to Cainta and Marikina, which are flood prone. But it also reached other barangays, which is near the center of Antipolo City, so which usually do not or unusual for them to experience this huge amount of rainfall. That's why we were seeing comments or posts on social media na first time nila, anong nangyari sa Antipolo, no? But if we are going to check these areas which experience that flash flood and the huge amount of rain, they are located, the communities are located near waterways or creeks which overflowed during the onslaught of Typhoon Enteng.
Really, was Typhoon Enteng worse than Typhoon Karina for Antipolo?
If we are going to compare it, ma'am, in terms of water, the rainfall, no, it's just half. But in terms of the effects, particularly on the casualties and the evacuees, I can say that it is worse, no? Because in terms of barangays affected, first of all, during Karina, we have 0 casualty. But this time in Enteng, we already have 8, a total of 8, and have 2 missing. In the city, we have reported 5 injured individuals due to the typhoon. And in terms of evacuees, ma'am, the peak, no, which is yesterday, we were able to, the barangays were able to report a total of around 54,000 or 55,000 individuals, or around 11,000 families were affected. Both those inside and outside the evacuation centers. But if we're going to speak of those only in the inside evacuation centers, we activated 48 evacuation centers yesterday. But today it's already down to 33 as of 6 a.m. And from yesterday's 3,828 individuals, we just only have 2,800, around 2,800 today.
Really, you did say that when it comes to the amount of rains, Typhoon Karina was worse. But then in terms of effects, Typhoon Enteng was definitely more devastating. What accounted for this difference in Antipolo?
Ma'am, we are going to base it on the monitoring station, the rainfall monitoring stations. Most of the rains were concentrated in the areas of Calawis and the northern part of Antipolo City and the north and western part. But this time, the volume of rain which Enteng and the Enhanced Habagat gave were concentrated mostly on the middle part or eastern part of Antipolo City, which also explains, if we're going to look at the bigger picture in the Rizal province, those towns also which do not normally experience this flooding and huge amount of rainfall, like towns like Teresa, Tanay, Morong, they also were badly affected by Enteng.
Really, I was seeing from some of the reports, it was really heartbreaking to see a pregnant woman that was affected and passed away, and also 2 children that were recovered from a landslide. Were these areas really landslide prone? Or was there another cause? Was there like a lack of preparation that caused these fatalities?
Ma'am, first of all, since Enteng was just the low pressure area, around the weekend, we already started giving out warning messages through our barangays to remind those who are in the danger areas, the low-lying areas prone to flood, and those on the near or the foothills or the mountains which are prone to landslide, to do preemptive evacuation. And in these areas, during the landslide po mismo, they're actually, even not just for this incident or this typhoon, but every time that there will be weather systems or disturbance like this, they're really consistently a part of those that we are evacuating. There are for the record po, there are informal settlers that's a private property where they are residing. And we actually, because of the recurring incidents in their area, not of landslide, but of the danger, we actually offered them several times housing relocation. But unfortunately, until now, which already resulted to death, they're still not grabbing that opportunity to have their own house, where they can be safe.
Really, would you know what the NDRRMC or the local government will be doing in the future to avoid these types of fatalities?
We're actually constantly reviewing naman po and coordinating with these agencies. So we can, we have this inventory of informal settler families, not just in landslide-prone areas, but also those inside or those along the waterways, no? Because we are continuously giving them proper relocation so they can be safer. So not just relocation, we are giving them livelihood opportunities. Most of them, kasi they would say that first is accessibility, their convenience, and some would say that that's livelihood that they're concerned. So we are all removing those concerns so they would really get that or get to say yes to our proposed relocation. In terms of other concerns like mga prevention and mitigation efforts, we are actually consistently doing using our local funds and tapping the national government and other partners for support in ensuring that our community or our city will be prevented or will not experience, or if not minimize the effects of these disasters.
Thank you so much, Relly Bernardo, and good luck with the continuing relief operations in Antipolo.
Thank you, Ma'am Karen. Good morning.
The prolonged weather disturbance has caught many by surprise. While families affected by Typhoon Enteng continue to increase, government efforts are unrelenting as well. In times like these, the Filipino spirit of bayanihan and the resiliency characters comes to the fore. Be timely informed, be insightful of the news. Always stay at the forefront. Join us again tomorrow for meaningful conversations that would help you form an objective personal opinion. This is Attorney Karen Jimeno. Stay safe in this still rainy Wednesday.